I think I'm a special one.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, episode 29 on the half turn. What's up, Chad?
What's going on? It's been a minute. We say that every time now.
We're 29 episodes in. The intros still have not gotten any better.
We started off hot when we first started this podcast. Like, we were banging out podcasts every week.
Yeah.
Now the listeners are lucky if they get one once a month.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I don't know. But, like, okay, even if people, the very few people that really enjoy listening to us, right? They got to appreciate the fact that we're out there in the soccer communities, like playing, coaching, like growing the game, that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Giving us more ammo for this podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
So like when I talk, like we are out there, like it's soccer, like all the time, man. Both of us been super busy. So
yeah, it's every day.
Like multiple times a day. Like if I have to coach once a day, it's a light day.
Yeah, I think we were planning on doing this actual podcast a week ago, but every time I asked, you go, "Oh, I got 2 sessions to coach tonight."
It's literally 2. It's never one. It's 2, or like a game and then a game and another game or something. It's crazy.
So this is how we spend our Friday nights.
Yeah,
on the podcast.
Barely. Well, last Friday night, I went from work, then I went to coach high school, and then I had a game with the girls team that I coach. So like there was 2 sessions even on a Friday night.
Dang, you're that busy where your young girls team has Friday night games?
Yeah, I don't know why we had a Friday night game, but it's whatever. It's cool.
How are your squads looking?
Well, first, but before we get into that, let's talk about what jersey you're wearing.
Ooh. Let's start with you. I mean, your jersey catches the eye.
Oh, dude, I brought out the absolute heat, man. This is the very limited, authentic Ajax third kit, Bob Marley edition. So it's got the red, yellow, and green. It's got the Ajax on it, red, yellow, and green on the sleeve, and on the back it has a picture of three little birds because I had to look this up when they released the kit. Ajax fans at the games sing 3 Little Birds, the song where it says every little thing gonna be all right. So like that one, so they get the whole stadium to sing.
Yeah, I know that song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw it and I was like, oh, this is so sick. Like I like Bob Marley, I like his good music, and like I just thought the kit was awesome. So like I bought it probably so there was like rumors it was coming out. Then there were some people were making fakes and replicas that didn't quite look right. I was really tempted to just buy one of those because I didn't know if this was coming out. Then Adidas and Ajax dropped the kit in like early August, I think. So as soon as I could pre-order it, like literally that morning, which I probably got a couple hour, like, you know, Europe probably got a head start on me, but I ordered it that morning when I woke up, when I saw it, and it was delayed. It was coming straight from Amsterdam because it was coming from the Ajax like store or whatever. So I kept getting all these updates from Ajax, but they're all in Dutch. So I'd have to translate the emails on Google Translate, and everything just kept saying like, oh, due to high demand, like we have your order placed, but the jersey's delayed a month or another month. So like it eventually went from early August to I got it like a couple days ago in, mid to late October. But this is the first in a line of like 3 or 4 new jerseys that like are heat that I'm going to be banging out here. So,
dude, that is a clean kit.
Oh, dude, it's so I can't wait to wear it like somewhere, like to go coach or something. Like,
have they worn it yet? You know,
I don't think so. Apparently, like there was
should wear it in the Champions League. That'd be cool.
Yeah, the 3 little birds on the back were like they caused some problem with Adidas and UEFA, and they were gonna have to tweak it for whenever they could wear it in a game. I'm not sure though.
Got the 3 stars there too. Not sure what each star means, but
it might be 5. Like every star's 5 league titles, because I would assume they have more than 3 league titles. 15 seems a lot, but you never know.
Yeah.
Alex is good this year too. What do you wear?
I don't know if I've worn it. Got Atlanta United jersey on. Back maybe 2018. Darlington Nagbe on the back, one of my favorite USMNT players. Wish he was with the national team, but he doesn't like playing for the national team. Wants to spend more time with his family. So I have like 3 of his jerseys. He's been like one of my favorite players. So I picked up a jersey from him like everywhere he's gone. Just haven't picked up a crew one yet. Columbus
I
Crew.
don't think you should want a crew jersey. So you have the Portland, you have Atlanta.
I have 2 Portland and 1 Atlanta.
How do you have 2 Portland? What's
Dude,
the other
I
one?
have like Portland maybe 2014. Portland the year before he left.
Mhm.
Got this one the following year, I think. And then I have yet to get the Columbus Crew jersey, but I'm trying to get my hands on that one soon. Complete the collection.
You'll text me like either every time he has a good game or like every time the US needs a better center midfielder, and you're like, US needs Nagbe. But like he literally just like would refuse a call up, I'm pretty sure. Like I don't think he wants to play.
I think it's crazy that commentators still talk about, yeah, we need a player like Darlington Nagbe in the team.
I think it's just like a trendy thing to say now, because like, okay, even if he was good or is good, like he's not ridiculously good where like you talk about this guy who hasn't been part of the national team for like 4 years now. You know?
Yeah, I guess, but I think everyone just realizes that he's probably one of the best center mids in the MLS.
Yeah.
And a type of center mid that I feel, I guess other people feel the same way, that the USA team needs.
Yeah,
And that's like a composed, like a player who can drive with the ball forward, kind of like Yunus Musa.
Yeah. So we'll get to Yunus Musa in a little bit too. Yeah, before the jerseys, back to were you asking about the teams that I coach?
Yeah.
It's going good, man. So I have 2012 girls, 2012 boys. So they're both 10 years old, and the high school team. So both the boys and the girls team are doing well. Like it's really just like I've been on here a million times talking about how much I hate the fact that like we have to play games with like results. Like to me, even at 10 years old, I wish there was a way to make the game smaller, 2v2s and 3v3s, and like as many touches as we can. And then you got teams that we play against that are like the coaches just telling them exactly what to do, or they're telling them to kick it long, or they're just getting way too hype about winning games, or the parents are telling them what to do. The parents have unrealistic expectations instead of just letting them play and just kind of like be free. Like the parents don't go watch them on the playground at school at recess to control them. You know what I mean? So like, you know, I like to just like last night I had a really good practice with my girls team. Like they just got a ton of touches. Like everything we did was like, we did some 5v4 because we only had 9 girls. Then we did like some 3v3s, some 1v1s. Then we did like some like a game where like it was 3v3 scoring in big goals. So they're getting that goal scoring, working on goal scoring. But like if the ball went out of bounds, the player who kicked it out of bounds had to come sit till the next ball went out of bounds. Basically to just get like a 3v2 going the other way, you know, like a numbers up. And they just got like so many touches. And I actually invited like some of the parents come to watch practice at both of my teams. So I told him, I was like, hey, if you're here watching practice, like see if you can count how many touches your kid gets on the ball for the whole practice, and then see if they could beat that number the next practice, or if they want to practice at home or in a game. And that would actually be like cool for me to hear too, like how many touches, because I'm betting like each player at these practices get a couple hundred touches. I mean, that's just guess. I would have no idea. I've never even tried to count. But yeah, and like the thing is, like with these guys, like seeing them improve is pretty subjective, because I'm not going to say, oh, they're improving because they won games. I'm positive about it because they're having fun and they're getting better at just holding onto the ball and being able to dribble, and then they start using their teammates a little bit, which I guess is subjective. Like there's nothing to measure that.
Yeah.
And then high school soccer is just nuts, dude. Like we play good soccer, and like it's a very high level, but like there's so many games in high school soccer, and there's so many just like teams that just like will just kick it and foul you and like make the game ugly. And
It's high school.
yeah, but we're getting into like the fun part now with so in South Jersey there's the Coaches Cup, which is basically like they rank the top 16 teams, of South Jersey, and they all like play each other like bracket style. And then there's also, you could still win your state championship, which is like your group. So there's like two big things that we could win: the state championship and the South Jersey Coaches Cup. So we're in the Coaches Cup now. What'd you say?
Trying to get the double.
Trying to get the double. We missed out on the treble, which was like would have been the conference tournament. So that stinks. But yeah, this is like these two are like, they're the ones we want. So it's getting like all of these weird like random games we had to play, and now it's like it's the business time.
Yeah, dude. High school schedules are so weird. It's like a game, like you'll have a game on a Monday, a Thursday, then Saturday.
Yeah, exactly, dude. There's times where there's back-to-back games. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, because you play every team home and away, right, in the conference.
Pretty much, yeah. We were only allowed 4 out-of-conference games, which is like ridiculous. Like, let us go make our own schedule.
Yeah.
How about you? How's college soccer? If there's anything more ridiculous than high school soccer, it's college soccer.
We're good. 2 more games until playoffs, so we'll see how that goes.
Gearing up for a nice long playoff run.
Yeah, we're hoping. The boys are ready.
You're not hoping, you're preparing.
Oh, we've been preparing all season.
All right. You don't hope, you put into action.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about some USMNT.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's get into it.
6 games into the what do they call it?
The Ocho.
The Ocho. Yeah. So we're 6 games in. This window beat Jamaica, lost to Panama away, and at home beat Costa Rica.
What's the table looking like?
So I know the USA are second on 11 points. So it's Mexico right now, sitting at 14 points. They have 4 wins and 2 draws. USA has 11 points. Canada in third with 10. Panama in fourth with 8 points. Costa Rica in fifth with 6 points. Jamaica and El Salvador are both on 5, and Honduras is on 3 points.
So it's definitely close. I would say the feeling around the US is like we've been good enough to like continue to advance, but not good enough in terms of like our expectations. But like we're still second in the group, but you could tell it's still going to be tough, right? 8 teams, 3 automatic spots. So like it's still like all these games still count a lot.
Yeah, I'm not too upset about like the Panama loss and all, because our first game back is against Mexico. So if you win that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there's a chance you go top of the thing.
Yeah, so that's what
you're going to drop points away some games. I mean, Panama's decent this year. They qualified in the last World Cup.
Yeah. Landon Donovan always said it he's been doing the podcast with what's his face? Grant Wall after every game. And Landon Donovan put it good. He was like, he said, it's not so much that you need experience. You just need to go through these experiences. So like
it's kind of the same exact thing.
You know what I mean, though? It's like, you don't really know like what it is to play in an away qualifier or like a weird environment until you do it. So it's not so much like you have experience because you're old and you've been in a lot of games. It's the fact that like, oh, you've been to Panama before. Like that's nothing like new. Yes, that Jamaica game started off pretty crazy. I mean, could have had a red card like
right.
Like
when you say like started off pretty crazy, literally from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, those who watched saw that Paul Areola just got pulled down. Should have been red card, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
30
Yeah, I
seconds
don't.
into the game.
There's no reason why it should have been anything but a red. Like it's just textbook last man.
Yeah, and then another red card should have been given. They gave a foul to the guy who pulled or side tackled Brendan Aronson, who's also in on a breakaway. So probably could have been 2 red cards, but that goes to why is there no VAR in CONCACAF?
Yeah.
We're trying to decide who goes to a World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
and like we don't have VAR. It's like
Yeah.
pretty easy at like to get VAR, like.
I think their thinking was probably if you put it in this round, you should put it in the last round. And in the last round, you have countries with stadiums that aren't quite equipped for like proper VAR. But yeah, these refs are obviously coming from countries where there is VAR. So like they know how to ref with VAR. So
Yeah.
if they're regularly using it and then they go ref without it, it's probably a different skill set.
Dude, and all they had to do was just look at the replay of the foul and know that it's a foul,
Mm-hmm. It's Aronson ended up scoring, right? What minute was that? Against Jamaica.
Not sure. Aronson didn't score. It was both goals from Pepe. Aronson had an assist.
That's something.
Had the assist to Pepe second.
The Pepe train.
Yeah. Everyone's on the Pepe train. I mean, he's definitely the USMNT's best forward right now. Don't even say anything about Josie Altidore. We are not going to talk about him in this podcast. It's been 28 straight podcasts that we've probably talked about Josie Altidore. The 29th is the one we stop.
I don't know. I think episode 30 is all about Josie Altidore then. We still got his jersey up here. It's all right.
Yeah, I know. That's enough. But
yeah, what do you think about Pepe? Do you think he's the real deal?
Since we're on it, listen, I love Pepe. I think he's the best USMNT forward right now. I think people are getting a little hype saying he's going to be this amazing number 9, going to be like one of the world's best, which are what people are saying, like one of the best at the position.
Dude,
let's relax. He only has 13 goals in like 22 starts in MLS, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like for being 18 years old, but it's not like
it's not a huge sample size.
He's not really like just lighting it on fire. He's been just putting goals away.
Yeah.
And he has 3 in 3 US games or 3 goals in 4 US games.
It's 3 goals in these qualifiers, right?
Yeah. I think those are his first 3 goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah. It's funny because like people that are sarcastic on Twitter they'll call him like the American Benzema, and it's just funny to like compare an American to Kareem Benzema.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see people like he's linked to like these big clubs, and like I'm like, do you really want him to go to AC Milan? Like he's not going to get time at these big clubs. I'd rather him like a nice like smooth move to like the Dutch league or something and like work his way up from there.
He agreed to personal terms with Wolfsburg, and he might have agreed to personal terms with another team like Ajax. So like I don't really know how that works where you can agree to personal terms, but I'm pretty sure he's still open like for a transfer,
Maybe like he agrees to the personal terms or his agent or whatever, and then FC Dallas just signs it, whichever offer they like best.
Yeah.
That's where he goes.
Yeah, you're right. Like I don't want to see him go to like a big club or like already at 18.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the Sargent thing. It's like you go to Norwich, like it makes literally no sense. He's never going to develop there.
It's because they want American people watching Norwich. That's why.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting that. But speaking of Norwich, like Josh Sargent wasn't even called up, right?
I think he was hurt.
Yeah. Well, so this story comes out. I don't know if it was after the Panama game that the Norwich manager they asked him why Sargent didn't leave to go with the U.S. and they said the U.S. Federation called or Norwich asked why they didn't want Sargent, and U.S. Soccer said that there's a guy in MLS that can do that job or something like that, and people took that as like there's collusion between MLS and U.S. Soccer, all these like conspiracy theorists, and like U.S. Soccer always just props up the MLS player to make MLS look good and whatever, which like I think that argument is pretty BS. I mean, like, one, like Sargent's not informed, not playing well, and I guess he's injured or whatever. Two, like Pepe's scoring goals, and like, yeah, it's pretty obvious that like if you had two guys even on your board, you would take the guy who's closer in that environment, can come in right away, doesn't have to quarantine or whatever. Like, there's more advantages to that. Every country like takes players from their domestic league.
Yeah, almost. Except the big ones. Like,
yeah, but they'll still take play. Like Brazil will have like the random one or two guys from the Brazilian, you know? So yeah. I thought that was like a stupid argument, but then it got to the bigger argument, which is like people always talk about US Soccer and MLS kind of like colluding to make sure that MLS looks good. And then
that's never not going to be the case. I mean, I don't know if I said that right, but like, look at every other team around or national team around the world that isn't in Europe. They all have players from their domestic leagues.
Yeah, you need it. It's like not logistically possible to not have those players.
Like when the US is not going to draw all their European players all the way back to the US. Like there's always going to be players from that are playing in the United States at that time. They're going to be playing with the national team.
And I hate to see it, but like you get guys like Christian Pulisic in, Gio Reyna, and like they're overworked for their big club teams, and they come in and they're so good they have to play all these games and they get hurt. Like Gio Reyna is still out, and it's like over a month later from the September one. Same with Pulisic. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like these guys are not like Pulisic's very injury prone, and Reyna was probably overworked coming in, so they pick up these injuries that leave him out for a month. So like it's also about managing loads too.
I wonder if travel has anything to do with those injuries. Like
I think
travel, different time zones, obviously.
Yeah. To me, it seems like if you were to travel from Europe to North America and play, that's not a problem. But if you were to travel, if you're playing games in Europe, travel to North America, play some games, then try to travel back to Europe, play more games or something, that's the problem. Yeah. You're doing it in this like condensed thing, but the travel itself isn't a problem. So like if we were to have, I've also heard people say that if we're going to have all these qualifiers, why don't we just take a month off from club soccer and jam like 6 or 8 of them into a month, and everybody just stays with their national team for a month.
That would be like a mini like World Cup.
Yeah, it'd be like a mini tournament, which would actually be like pretty cool, and it would help prepare teams for the World Cup.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. Any big performances from the Jamaica game? You want to move on to Panama? I guess from Jamaica, like the first goal was created. I think it was the first goal. Maybe the second. I can't remember. Musa picks up the ball just like from a center back or somebody, and guys kind of coming at him. He gives him a little shimmy, just skips by him, and then there's no pressure on him, so it's not that hard. But he just carries the ball into the opponent's, like into their attacking third, the U.S. attacking third, and then he dishes it off. And that skill is so valuable. So like maybe that's where the comparisons with Nagby come from. And I think people get too caught up when they're talking about center midfielders is like, how's his passing? How's his this? How's that? It's like, can he just stay on the ball, you know?
Yeah. So it's like Musa, I feel like he's like a winger that plays center mid, you know?
Mm-hmm. He's just a baller. Like that's what he is.
And like most center mids are get the ball, got to find the next pass. But he's like, he wants to play like direct. Like wants to go towards goal, which is like you said, a valuable skill.
Yeah.
They were talking about that also on the Grant Wall podcast.
Grant Wall's our boy. We should get Grant Wall. Well, I'd rather have Landon Donovan.
I thought this was the game where I thought Ariel was a monster.
Yeah, you were just like not on the ball. Ariel is like he is what he is on the ball. That's what we'll say. But like his pressing is really good.
Yeah, he played like amazing, like just work rate was unbelievable.
Yeah, really good at blocking
Not-
the passing lanes and putting pressure on the ball.
Yeah, respect.
Respect, Paul Ariola. Respect. We're the only guys that would ever attribute 15 seconds to Paul Ariola in a positive way. Most guys would like spend 20 minutes bashing Ariola.
Which was still what most people do.
It's funny because like Ariola, like probably the nicest guy in the world. I've never met him, but like it's just be funny. But like after every game where Ariola would play, and if like the US didn't do well, they would just bash Paul Ariola as like the poster boy, like MLS guy who just plays because of Gregg Berhalter and he's in MLS and he works hard, but he's not actually that good.
Which is probably what they did for the Panama game. They're probably like, it's because Paul Ariola isn't playing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's because Paul Ariola is playing. That's why
Yeah.
they lost
Well,
to him.
in the Panama game too. So we lose 1-0 off a set piece. And like it was Kellen Acosta,
Jet and Musa.
Yeah, so Musa wasn't that good. I think he was taken out at halftime. Leggett to me looked like he just had old legs, dude. He could not move, man.
Dude, usually he's one of those guys where it's like I see Leggett, I'm like, all right.
He could spring around a little bit, press, like get on the ball.
And usually he like fits in like anything Berhalter does.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like Berhalter's little assistant.
Yeah. He was not himself that game. And like we've seen Leggett be good.
Yeah.
Same with Acosta. Like everyone can have a bad game, but it's weird that those three didn't have like they all just had bad games. And like Acosta, he wasn't covering ground right. He was like really sloppy with the ball. And I think Berhalter thought he could steal some rest for Adams. Mm-hmm. And I think it goes to show how important Tyler Adams was. And I think Tyler Adams for the national team like has taken a step up. Like Tyler Adams came into that game and just like immediately changed it. He just could complete good side-to-side passes, get us out of trouble, which Acosta wasn't able to do, Leggett wasn't able to do. And Musa's not really that kind of player yet. So,
well, like the whole complaint going in this game was why did he make 7 changes?
Yeah.
But I forget who said it. Someone was like, well, you're not like you were hoping just to get a point, really. At least a point from this game.
Mm-hmm.
To then get 3 at home off of Costa Rica, right?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of makes sense.
Which happens, yeah. And I think like if you're gonna just get a point team, you got to be clinical on attacking and defending set pieces, which they weren't. And it's way too many subs, or rotations. Even though he spent summers and different tournaments building like this player pool, but yeah, I think it was too many guys to rotate, and it was just like an ugly game. Like maybe they just didn't know their roles. I don't know.
It was just I thought it just looked like lack of ideas. Like the ball, looks around, literally just plays it. Dude gets the ball, looks around, plays it. Like it was just so slow.
Yeah,
I'm sure the field was pretty bad, but like
Aronson came on at halftime too, and he looked like pretty lively. Like I love when Aronson like he goes and presses, he like pushes the issue, he like progresses the ball forward, and like he just didn't have enough time to really do anything or create anything. Who started up? I think Weah started up top, Zardes, and Ariola.
Last Zardes at the 9,
and Ariola on the right.
Yeah, what a front 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not really scaring anybody, to be honest. Like we were just like not like we were okay with Ariola until you hear that front 3. It's like,
But Weah looked pretty sharp in the Jamaica game. I was excited to watch him play in the Panama game, and I mean, obviously we didn't create a whole lot of chances. And our outside backs, I thought were brutal that game too.
It was a Shaq Moore and
George Bello.
Yeah, I think Moore was worse. I was expecting more from him.
Yeah, he got something. Yeah. And did Des get hurt? Or was that last camp?
Last camp, I think.
Where like he was hurt for like a game.
Yeah. It was the end of the last camp because then the next game we beat Costa Rica at home. He scored that like ripper.
Yeah.
His left foot.
You want to get into that game?
It was funny because Yeah, we can get in that game. I was joking because with our dad, I came home and I was watching the game with him, and like I forget what happened. I missed the play or something, and he kept telling me like, "Oh, that was a nice play by Dest," and like he might have got two players confused, but he just kept repeating that like Dest made this play. So I was joking with him like, "You dad, your boy Dest," and like I don't know, maybe Dest is dad's favorite player now.
Yeah, that's funny.
So you got to joke with it next time you see him. Just joke with him about Serginho Dest.
Yeah. That was a sick goal, though.
Yeah.
It's crazy that he only scores bangers.
And why was McKinney out against Panama? By the way, Weston.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other McKinney. I don't know actually.
It might have been yellow because nobody talked about him being available. So maybe it was yellow cards or something. I don't know if that would make any sense, but he didn't play against Panama. He plays.
I just don't think they played him.
Yeah, but it was weird that no one thought of subbing him in. There must have been a reason why.
I mean, dude, there's plenty of players that like.
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe. But I thought he was good against Jamaica and Costa Rica. And like I've been critical about Weston McKinney, but like I thought him, Musa, and Adams like moved the ball pretty well.
Yeah, so I don't know if I said on the podcast, but the McKinney versus Callan Acosta debate that I kind of had with some people on my team did not help. Didn't help my case this window.
Now you could fast forward 2 weeks or a month or 3 months, and like that debate could change because there was literally a time where Kellen Acosta was valuable in the Gold Cup, and Weston McKinney wasn't at times like the whatever the first game of qualifying was. We got a point. It was like a boring 0-0 game. So like Weston McKinney's up and down. Like maybe he's trending up now. He's playing all right for Juve at the moment. So yeah. Any other thoughts on the Costa Rica game?
No, not really. I thought it was funny when Brian Ruiz was on our breakaway. See how slow he was.
Slowest guy. Well, dude, this Costa Rica team, you would think they would like bring some youth in, but nah, it's just like the old heads, dude.
Dude, it's literally like the same team as like years past.
Going back to like what Landon Donovan says, like we have an advantage, the fact that we're younger and a deeper player pool with these 3-game windows. And Costa Rica's old, so they're like tired at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Berhalter probably thinks, let me rotate. And like keep my players fresh. An old Costa Rica team, that could be another reason why he rotated so much. To make them maximum fresh going against
maximum fresh. He gets their health bar up. So look, I've listened to a podcast with Berhalter before, and it was on a sports analytics podcast, and he talked about how much data he gets. So I'm sure he gets a ton of like health data. So like maybe it shows that like rest them in the middle game, and you'll have a clear advantage in the third game. And like if you can get by in the middle game.
That's what I think happened.
Yeah, you big data guy.
Well, I think that's why he rotated.
But I'm sure there's data to prove that, and like maybe he realizes that his best player's performance drops by 30% in that second game, especially when they go from home to away or away to home. So if they travel, it declines again. It's like, why not rest them for the third game and get 100% of Kellen Acosta rather than 70% of Tyler Adams?
Yeah.
And that's probably what he's thinking. And maybe he overthinks it too, But, going off of that, like, so we're through 6 games, second in the group, but not totally convincing. 1 to 10, what's your confidence in Gregg Berhalter qualifying us and going forward?
From right now, having us qualified?
Yeah, right, going forward.
Like, what do you mean? Like after qualification and like into the World Cup?
Both. You could do both. Like you could say you're 10 for qualifying, but like in the World Cup, we're gonna do nothing. Like what? Just Gregg Berhalter, his
qualifying.
Decision.
I'm not 10 out of 10, but like I'm pretty confident to get us qualified.
Mm-hmm.
But in the World Cup, that's completely different. Like in a group stage in the World Cup, I don't know if I'm that confident.
Can he do it on a hot November day in Qatar?
In Qatar?
In Qatar. Yeah, I would say my confidence in Berhalter is like a 9. Like, I don't think we're gonna slip up and miss the World Cup, but he's a guy who seems like he would. The only thing that would hurt him is over tinkering with like lineups or like a quick little tactical thing, kind of like that thing with James Sands in the one qualifying game. And he's like, "Why are you playing James Sands?" And like he's kind of a defensive mid, and he just does too much. But like, I'm totally bought in on all of his team building philosophy. I think like his tactics are still really good.
Oh man, you good?
Yeah, I'm just so emotional about Gregg Berhalter. But yeah, I believe in him. Like he's definitely a good manager, good coach. Like it might not work out, and maybe he's doing too much with this group, but he's still good. He's smart.
I'm like a 7.9 out of 10.
Wow, dude! Thanks for being so specific.
It's like roughly around an 8.
But not quite an 8. An 8's a little bit too high for you.
Like, I don't know. I had this feeling like when you lose to Panama, like the game where we lost to Panama, like I had this feeling it's like, oh no, like because it was literally 4 years after Panama qualified and the U.S. didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know. I was like, oh snap! Like then I started to think, what if we don't qualify? Like what if we lose?
Yeah. So we could definitely lose to Mexico, even though it's at home. We could definitely lose to Mexico, and then like you drop another. Who's the next game we play? There is again.
It's home against Mexico, away at Jamaica.
Then it's just a 2-game cycle in November. Away to Jamaica. That should be 3 points. But if you drop points, especially like 0 points against Jamaica, and you get a 0.2 game window, like then there's pressure again, and then everybody's like, fire Berhalter, fire Gregg, what's he doing? And then it's just like it could get ugly. But like me personally, I'm confident in him.
Yeah, I guess the pressure is the toughest part. You know, like you said, if you don't get the points you need, then the pressure's on, and then never like you already said it, but that's a good point.
To me, your Wi-Fi all right?
Yeah, you're like freezing and stuff. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, I might have to change mine. You there? You there?
Yeah.
All right. I switched from one Wi-Fi to another.
All right. Cool.
So she'll be better. Hopefully it keeps recording. What I was gonna say was I forget what I was gonna say. Stupid Wi-Fi. But like what how confident are you in to me it seems like the players buy into Berhalter. Like I think we would hear a lot more like crap leaked to the media if the players were like, what's this guy doing? He doesn't really know what he's doing. And we heard that a lot with Jurgen Klinsmann. And there was like some complaints about Bruce Arena, but like most of it was after. And I think like if we would have gotten the results we needed, like people still wouldn't leak that stuff. But like with Klinsmann, I think people didn't like him. And there were some people that were like, this guy's kind of clueless. But nobody says that about Berhalter. I think Berhalter checks all of the boxes.
Yeah, that's true. But see, when Jurgen was the manager, you had like a lot of older players who like had a say. You know, if they came out and said something, they'd be like, you know what, he might be right because he's like players like Bradley, Josie, like those guys played for the national team for a while. But with Berhalter, there's a lot of like young players.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't want to really come out and say all this stuff because they're trying to get into the USA squad. And if they do say something and it backfires, maybe they don't get called back up again. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, you would think like there'd be more, even like a guy like John Brooks, like if he was unhappy, like I'm sure we would hear something about it. Or like there's big enough like personalities on this team. like Pulisic. Every time Pulisic's with the national team, it seems like he's bought in, and he's like the captain, he's the leader. But I will say, like, I'm confident in these players like being good enough. But like what worries me is like a guy like Pulisic, he's injury prone. Like I hate to say it, but like people always talked about, oh, like Josie's inconsistent and he's never healthy. And they just always said he's never healthy. But like Christian Pulisic really is never healthy. And like it's a groin, it's a hip, it's a quad, it's a whatever. And like I love the guy, but like I think he's at this point like a nice to have rather than he's our captain.
Dude, he was so good if he just played consistently.
Yeah. I think we should not have him play club and he just plays on the national team. And like, I don't think he's a 90-minute player. And maybe that's what Tuchel sees in him. And like some of those games he's playing 90 minutes and then like the 70th minute mark when he got hurt when he's playing for the US, I think away at Honduras. It's like about 70 minutes in, he's clearly kind of tired and beat up, and then he gets hurt. Like he's probably past his limit. And I'm sure Berhalter has all his data on it. He probably knows. And you just
especially when he doesn't play enough because he's hurt, like
so he never has time to build up his base again. And like he played a full 90 against Canada, I think, in Nashville. And like he clearly wasn't 90 minutes fit. He was like dead by the end of the game. So like maybe we got to do a better job of managing it. But a guy like Pulisic, I don't think we could trust to be there all of the time, which sucks because like I asked you like 1 to 10, what's your confidence in Berhalter? Like what's your 1 to 10 like confidence in this group of players to qualify, to get better, to be good in the World Cup?
Around the same.
7.9?
Like 7.5.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I was at a 9 for Gregg. I'm at like a 7.5 for the players. Part of it is the like players injury prone, right? John Brooks is injury prone, Pulisic, Gio Reyna. Part of it too, I think, is inconsistency. And then there's just like Pepe, right? Pepe I like Pepe, but he very well could just go cold and not be like the hype man Pepe train guy and just be a good MLS starter that like we happen to call up and it takes 2 or 3 call-ups to realize he doesn't have it right now. And like I think we just kind of ride in the hot hand. And like Serginho Dest is up and down. And I think there's nothing like there's no Clint Dempsey to go back on. And like there's no rock to this team, It's Tyler Adams, who's also fairly injury prone. Like he very rarely plays a long stretch of games for Leipzig.
Dude, you just named how injury prone the core of our team is. Then you got Stefan back there who has like back spasms like every other day.
Yeah, but I'm more of a Matt Turner guy at this point. I don't know if that's a right or wrong take. I'm not a
No, I agree.
But yeah.
I'm team Matt Turner too.
Team Matt Turner. Yeah, dude, we are pretty injury prone, and maybe it's just there's too many games too. Yeah. Anything else on the national team?
No.
Cool. We want to move on to some quick takes.
Yeah, man.
All right. What's next on the agenda?
So, I guess we could speak about the whole Newcastle thing. I mean, like that's no transfer window going on, no real transfer news, but I mean, Newcastle just got bought by new owners.
Mm-hmm.
Just like hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
With how much the owners have, which is insane. Like, do you think this is a good thing for the Premier League or soccer?
Yeah. Well, apparently the owners like they're kind of sketchy. Like it's linked to there's like some kind of like dirty money involved in. I don't know. There's like some unethical money involved somehow. So I don't know if
Your
it's
sources.
Huh?
Where did you get that from?
Total Soccer Show talked about it.
Mm.
I didn't look at it. I just kind of took their word for it. But yeah, dude, the Newcastle fans were like celebrating on the streets when like the takeover happened. Like we played with a guy this summer that like grew up in the Newcastle Academy. He didn't like the owner. Shout out to our boy Coach Joe. He's a Newcastle fan. I don't think he liked the owner. These guys just have like money, like a ridiculous amount more than Manchester City, who we think of like as rich club. It's like hundreds of billions more. So like,
I heard they were going to try and buy Man United, but they couldn't because the United owners didn't want to sell. So they were like, "Yeah, let's buy Newcastle."
Man United's worth like too much money. Not that they couldn't afford it. It's like there's something crazy. Like they invested so much into the stadium and all of the branding that like the club is Man United as a club is just like too big right now. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, Newcastle's like it's like a FIFA career mode. You just like financial takeover and you just have all this money to spend.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually.
I hope they do something cool. Like I don't want to see a slow build because like, do I care about Newcastle? No, I don't care at all. But like, I want to see like they come in, they hire Zidane, and then they to manage the personalities, and they come in and they get a who's like a big name, maybe somebody that like flops a bit at like a big club.
So I have a big list of rumors.
Oh, they've been rumored to literally everybody, but like they're not going to go get Erling Haaland or something like that.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
But like, if Newcastle are trying to reach that level, they would have to buy a whole new 18 players. Like literally,
like who?
Maybe bring up some players that they're linked to.
Who's like your number one? Like I'm thinking right now, like a Keylor Navas on his way out of PSG.
Yeah, he's a big one.
I'm thinking like a Gigi Wijnaldum, who's also apparently unhappy at PSG.
People were saying Van de Beek.
Like just a bunch of guys that are unhappy at their current clubs.
Yeah, like Martial, I heard. I have a big list that Transfer Market posted.
I'm thinking like, what if they go? So they already have Miguel Almiron. I'm not saying they're going to build around Almiron, but what if they go like the Hispanic kind of route and they buy like Lautaro Martinez from Inter, and they just kind of build with like Brazilians and Argentinians? I think that would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Or I also heard other people talk about Diego Simeone going to Newcastle, but like I don't really see that.
I heard the big one was Antonio Conte.
That'd be pretty cool too.
Yeah, that would, and he can like bring the players that he wants in, like because he's like a very well-known coach.
Yeah, I think Zidane's still the best. Like I don't even know if Zidane's like that good of a manager, but like he obviously can handle personalities. So like I would take Zidane. I heard Lampard is a rumor, and like you know how I feel about Lampard as a manager. He's not it, pal. He's not that guy, pal.
Like I heard the ESPN FC guys talking, saying that they should get that Newcastle should get Felipe Coutinho.
That's
One
a good
dude said it was a great move. The other dude said it would end up just like James at Everton, which he's kind of true.
I saw Transfer Market posted today, like Coutinho's value like 2 years ago was like 180 million or something, or 150 million, and now it's like 20. Like his Transfer Market value. Who else is another good like Newcastle signing?
Chiesa.
No way. That's like the least sense you can make there.
I don't know. They could literally buy whoever they want.
Yeah, I want to see something like a splash, but I don't want to see it like a slow build. You know what I mean?
It's just crazy because it might just be coming like this January window.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to fight for promotion too. So like, are they just gonna bring in like some big names to just like fight for promotion?
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if they got relegated and then they bought all of these players and then they just like smashed everybody in the championship.
Yeah. That'd be insane. It's literally like FIFA.
Yeah. I think that'd be a cool thing to do is like we play FIFA as Newcastle.
And stream it?
Yeah, you should start a gaming channel.
On the Half Turn Gaming.
OTHD Gaming. We're a worldwide brand. We're like Red Bull.
Yeah.
What other topics do you have?
Ole in or Ole out?
Ole is always out, dude. Like, yeah, so they beat Atalanta the other day in the Champions League, but Ole, like in the Premier
Barely.
League, he doesn't have a style.
I mean, Man U's always just been a collection of players. It's always like, can we get the biggest name we possibly can to come to the club?
Well, like Ronaldo made sense, Sancho made sense. I don't know if Van de Beek made any sense, but like Varane, like I guess it kind of made sense. You need another center back. Like Ole's been there for what, 3 years, 4 years? Have you been able to identify what he wants to do with this team? Has he taken a player and made them better? I would say Luke Shaw has gotten better. I don't think it's Ole's system. I think Luke Shaw's just pretty good. Who else? Who's gotten better? McGuire's gotten a little bit better.
I mean, some players like Greenwood developed under him.
Yeah, Greenwood's a good shout. But like Martial got worse. Rashford's gotten better, but I think Rashford was just destined to be good. Like I always complain about Scott McTominay, but like now people are debating, what do you have in Scott McTominay? Can he do this? Can he do that? Well, you had 2 years to figure it out. And like you kept kind of playing these other guys that wouldn't do the job for you.
Mm-hmm. So I think he's probably going to be in for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like if they fire him now, like what are they going to do? Who are they going to hire? Everyone's like Zidane. It's like Zidane's not just going to, in the middle of October, just start coaching Man United.
Zidane. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it makes sense, but there are like a lot of French guys, I guess, on Man United. So
yeah, I guess. So, and I don't think like he's under that much pressure from like the Man United board as much as like the fans put the pressure on. You know?
Yeah, I think it's weird because I don't think Ole was ever like in a whole lot of pressure until like a couple weeks ago.
I mean, they literally finished right. They finished second last year in the Premier League.
I think,
Which is like good.
but they don't do anything in Champions. Like they'll probably get knocked out in like the first knockout round. And then I saw like a quote about how he said like you only need to win your home games in the Champions League to get through. And then people were criticizing him, saying like he needs to like be more ambitious and try and get getting the first spot in the group instead of the second, so you get an easier draw. And like Man United should be more ambitious than that, which is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Ole out. What are you?
So like well, I think he should stay to the end of the season.
Yeah. I'm not like if you
really
fired Ole right now, I don't think like the team would just turn around and get better like with Lampard and Tuchel, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that could do a better job than Ole.
And you also don't really want to waste like Ronaldo's prime years. Not prime years, but like, while Ronaldo's still like
somewhat, yeah, like good, valuable.
Yeah.
Cool. What else do we have on the agenda?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know what else is happening in the soccer world. It's almost playoff time, almost USL championship playoff time.
Nice.
I'm getting pretty amped for that.
Trying to think. We covered a good amount. I think we got some good episodes coming up, and this past month is probably the busiest we'll be in a while. So like, should hit like a good rhythm next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we got a little thing playing, that a little thing that we've done in the past that we're gonna bring back and do a part 2 of.
Ooh, part 2.
Yeah.
Alexi Lalas part 2.
Dude, don't say it out loud. This time we're bringing on Taylor Twellman and Alexi Lalas.
Oh, dude, they're just gonna fight. Stu Holden, everybody. Dude, I miss Alexi Lalas. I was telling I had Alexi Lalas jersey on the other night when I was coaching my girls team last Friday night. And the other team's coach was like, "Is that Alexi Lalas, like retro jersey?" I was like, "Yeah." When he started talking about Alexi Lalas, he said that Lalas was his favorite player. So I showed him like how Lalas was on the podcast and everything. It was pretty cool.
So I don't got any other.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. Just look forward to the next couple episodes as well. Stay tuned. Keep engaging on social media too. Follow. We don't really post on Twitter. We'll post when we post a new episode, but
We post when we want. We post when we want. We're on the halftime.
on the halftime.
Post when we want.
That's pretty good. Yeah, so we'll post one. That's pretty good. So Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We'll post all our content there. We good?
Yeah, I also have planning on getting a few kits coming in too.
Ooh.
So I'm a little excited.
And dropping any hints or no?
Maybe a mystery kit.
Oh, dude. I feel like all the mystery kit companies just kind of like send everybody the same kit. Like I got a mystery kit one time and it was Middlesbrough. I wore it on here. And like I've seen 3 other people get a Middlesbrough mystery kit. I think they just buy a bunch of Middlesbrough jerseys.
Middlesbrough kits. That's funny.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
That's episode 29. We'll catch you later.
Catch you on the flip.
Peace.